Okay.
Hey y'all. Nope.
Nope.
This is what takes the longest.
Woosah.
Brown cow, whatever.
Water.
How
melon,
now,
watermelon.
brown cow?
Okay.
All
Can I
right.
say hey guys, or is
I'll
that
be able
not?
to edit this after, so
Okay.
it's,
Oh.
it's recording right
Oh.
now. So anytime you
Great.
feel comfortable,
Hold on.
you can just launch into it. But we probably ought to take a deep breath first. So I have a couple seconds on which to.
Trim it.
Yep.
Hey team, it's Justin Ashley, Director of IEP Compliance.
Amy Anson, lead SLP.
Carrie Karsten, secondary instructional coach.
And we're just sending out a brief video on QMPs and progress reporting before we get into progress reporting season.
Hey, if you put us together, we spelled Jack.
Yes, we do. We spelled
do.
Jack.
We would only special educators would think of that.
Yeah.
So
Another
Amy, do you want
acronym.
to talk
Sure.
about QMPs?
So we actually have a purpose today. That is talking about a couple of things related to recent newsletters and just clearing up a couple of things for the good of everyone. So qualified Medicaid providers include, in addition to your IAs, which you guys will be getting news about that and improving how well your IAs have time to do their billing, etc. But the QMPs for IEPs are your SLP, your OT, and PT mainly. And so it's best practice that they are invited to every IEP and the MET for the sake of review of existing data or looking at evaluation pieces. But with the IEP that we want to address today, it's best practice that they're invited and attend those meetings. Sometimes, though, because of, especially with OTPT, with the way they're on different campuses, they just are not able to make it to an IEP. So we would like to encourage that ad hoc excusal form be used. And that's mainly because when we have that form done, we are clear that somebody wasn't forgotten and that there was an intention to include them and that they were aware of the meeting and able to have a chance for input. Alternately, they could provide a written summary because if they're not attending the meeting and they're doing that form, it's also with the understanding that they're providing another chance for the parent to hear from them. So they could also provide a written summary of that to the meeting for those participants.
And then for your related service providers, they should be bringing their progress reports to the IEP meeting. And at that meeting, they should sign, credential, and date because those documents are important to get into special education records. And then once they're signed, credentialed, and dated, they should be giving them to the service facilitator so that all of the documentation is going together to the special education records department. Just for the sake that if, SLPs, OTs, or PTs are sending in their own documentation, we're not getting staggered documentation and you're not getting an additional email from a special education records clerk.
Correct. So service facilitators, be on the lookout for that. Your clerks are there to help you watch for when those come in, and ideally they're not sending in all those records until the pieces are together. I would put in a plug, though, for the OTPT that their progress reports are separate from the ones that are printed on Synergy because they have embedded goals. What they're doing is providing a progress report that reflects what they've done toward that embedded service and support, and so you'll get a separate piece from them. The SLPs are doing that progress reporting on the same progress report as everyone else. Another thing about that is when it comes to the progress reporting time, which we're going to talk about, be careful not to finalize progress reports until you know that everyone has their pieces done.
Right, and just to plug, service facilitators, don't be shy about asking your related service providers for that documentation because that is left off, but it is also on the IEP compliance checklist and they're not being sent in. So if you're at the meeting, please ask those related service providers for that information. And now we're going to jump into progress reports just for some helpful reminders and some things to think about when you're writing the progress reports. And Carrie's going to explain a little bit about that.
So make sure that when you're writing progress reports that the data is aligned with descriptions and the goals and comments are for the purpose of relaying information that's pertinent to the data. We need to make sure it's data driven. A lot of times it's okay to add additional comments that might help describe why progress is being made or not being made, and that's okay, but just make sure you stick that it's data driven language. And it's also not it's not a place for generalized behavior comments or etc. or anything that isn't measured by the goal. So examples of things that you could include are level of queuing, consistency in performance, etc.
Good.
And certainly, if you're reflecting data on a goal that looks like it's either a reversion or that student hasn't made much progress this quarter, you might want to put in a qualifying comment. Sometimes the student's been absent a lot, or
Yeah.
there's another obstacle to progress. And I would say, of course, if that goes on more than a quarter, we need to be amending goals.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
And please provide some substance. I know Carrie mentioned that, but provide substance. When I do my IEP audits, I do look at progress reports, and it's a little unsettling if it just says Johnny is a good student with no information on the data. So just provide some substance when you're writing your progress report comments. If you do have any questions about progress reporting or maybe IEP development, the three of us are here to help you along the way. Our information is on the Special Education Department website, and we're reachable by email. But other than that, hope you have a good time writing your progress reports and have a happy holiday.
And amendments. All these rules about attending IEPs, it applies to your amendments too. Everybody needs to be involved in signing those.
Good point.
Final plug.
Yeah. But then again, happy holidays.
Bye, guys. See you next year.
Bye, guys. See you in January.
I think that was the best one you guys have ever done.
I'm getting comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
All right,
And
See,
it's like,
I tripped up. I feel you guys are smooth. I didn't feel smooth at all.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to watch it?
I think it was great.
Sure.
We should watch it. And it only takes
if you have to leave, you can leave.
I'll leave in it. I still have 15 minutes. I'm good.
So the other thing is we can YouTube this one really quickly, and then we can also edit.
Yeah, I just need to put the link in the. Are you bringing your computer over there? Or should
Yeah.
you move- okay.
Seriously, my phone just turned on with your voice. It was like, we need to put the link in. I'm like, what is it doing? No.
Her phone turned on too.
Yeah, so weird.
And this one is